Let's face it, we're all hooked. The allure of sugar is undeniable, and it's everywhere we look. Sugar, that sweet temptress, has us firmly in its grasp. From our morning coffee to our evening dessert, it sneaks into our diet in countless ways. We crave it, we seek it out, and we often succumb to its siren song. The moment we see a delicious pastry or a colourful candy, our resolve weakens. But this isn't just a harmless indulgence. The hidden sugars in our foods can add up quickly, leading to unexpected health issues. Sugar addiction is real, and it's wreaking havoc on our bodies. It's not just about the extra calories, it's about the long-term damage. Like a bad relationship, our love affair with sugar can have serious consequences. It can affect our mood, our energy levels, and our overall well-being. We're talking about a higher risk of diabetes, heart disease, and even some cancers. These are not just minor issues, they are life-threatening conditions. And just like kicking any bad habit, breaking up with sugar is easier said than done. The struggle is real, and it's a daily battle for many. Why is it so hard to resist? The answer lies deep within our biology. Our brains are wired to seek out sweetness. The pleasure centers in our brain light up when we consume sugar, making it incredibly addictive. It's a primal instinct, a throwback to our hunter-gatherer ancestors who relied on sugary fruits for energy. Back then, it was a survival mechanism. But in today's world, where sugar is added to practically everything, our bodies simply can't cope with the overload. The abundance of sugar is overwhelming. The result? Our bodies become resistant to insulin, the hormone that regulates blood sugar levels. This leads to a cascade of health issues. This sets the stage for a whole host of health problems, from weight gain to chronic diseases. The impact of sugar on our health is profound and far-reaching. The numbers are in, and they're not pretty. Diabetes, a disease largely driven by excessive sugar intake, is skyrocketing across the globe. It's a global epidemic, and the statistics are staggering. According to the World Health Organization, the number of people with diabetes has quadrupled in the last 40 years. That's right, quadrupled. And it's not just happening in developed countries. Developing nations are also seeing a dramatic rise in diabetes rates. What's driving this alarming trend? A perfect storm of factors is to blame, including sedentary lifestyles, poor diets, and of course, our insatiable appetite for sugar. But sugar isn't just fueling diabetes, it's also a major contributor to insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is a condition where our cells become less responsive to insulin. This forces our pancreas to produce more and more insulin, just to keep our blood sugar levels in check. Over time, this can lead to type 2 diabetes and other serious health problems. Remember the good old days when meals were home-cooked and processed foods were a rare treat? Yeah, me neither. Our diets have undergone a dramatic transformation over the past few decades, and not for the better. 50 years ago, people ate far less processed food and sugar. Meals were prepared at home using fresh, whole ingredients. Fast food was an occasional indulgence, not a dietary staple. But today, our plates are piled high with processed foods, sugary drinks, and refined carbohydrates. These modern dietary villains are loaded with hidden sugars, unhealthy fats, and empty calories. They've replaced nutrient-rich foods like fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, leaving us overfed but undernourished. This shift towards a more processed, sugar-laden diet has had a profound impact on our health. It's a major driver of the obesity epidemic, the rise in chronic diseases, and our struggle with sugar addiction. Sugar-coated, hidden sugars lurking in plain sight. Here's a scary thought. Sugar is hiding in plain sight, disguised in foods we wouldn't even suspect. It's not just in the obvious culprits like candy and soda, but in everyday items we consider healthy or neutral. It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing, masquerading as harmless ingredients on our food labels. This deception makes it challenging to maintain a healthy diet, as we unknowingly consume more sugar than intended. We all know that sugary drinks, candy, and desserts are packed with sugar. These are the obvious sources, and most of us try to limit our intake of these items. But what about bread, yogurt, and even salad dressings? These are foods we often consider healthy or at least not harmful. These seemingly innocent foods often contain hefty doses of hidden sugars, adding up to far more than we realize. A single serving of yogurt can have as much sugar as a candy bar, and some salad dressings are more sugar than vegetables. Food manufacturers are masters of disguise, using over 60 different names for sugar on their labels. This makes it difficult for consumers to identify and avoid added sugars. These sneaky aliases include high fructose corn syrup, dextrose, maltose, and sucrose, to name just a few. Each of these has a different impact on our bodies, but they all contribute to our overall sugar intake. So how can we avoid these sugary traps? It starts with awareness and education. Knowing what to look for on labels is the first step. The key is to become savvy label readers. Take the time to compare products and choose those with lower sugar content. Don't be fooled by clever marketing tactics or health claims. Just because a product says low fat or organic doesn't mean it's low in sugar. Turn the package over and scrutinize the ingredient list. Look beyond the front of the package and dive into the details. If sugar is listed within the first few ingredients, it's best to put that product back on the shelf. Opt for whole foods and those with minimal processing to reduce your hidden sugar intake. Cereal deception and the low-fat sugar trap. Let's talk breakfast. It's the most important meal of the day, right? Or so we've been told. We've all seen those brightly coloured cereal boxes, adorned with cartoon characters and promises of a healthy start to the day. They catch our eye and make us believe we're making a good choice for our families, but don't be fooled by the marketing hype. Those claims of whole grains and essential vitamins can be misleading. Many breakfast cereals, especially those marketed to children, are loaded with sugar. In fact, some cereals contain more sugar per serving than a dessert. That's right, those crunchy flakes and sugary puffs can contain as much sugar as a candy bar. Imagine starting your day with a candy bar for breakfast. And it's not just kids' cereals that are guilty of this sweet deception. Many adult cereals, even those labelled as healthy or low-fat, are also surprisingly high in sugar. The labels might boast about being low in fat, but they often don't mention the high sugar content. It's a trade-off that many consumers are unaware of. The low-fat craze of the 1980s and 1990s inadvertently contributed to our sugar addiction. Back then, fat was the enemy, and food manufacturers scrambled to create low-fat versions of their products. When food manufacturers removed fat from products, they often replaced it with sugar to improve the taste. This was a quick fix to make the food palatable, but it had long-term consequences. This led to a surge in low-fat, high-sugar foods that actually contributed to weight gain and other health problems. People thought they were making healthier choices, but they were often consuming more sugar than ever before. The lesson here? Don't fall for the sugar trap, whether it's lurking in your breakfast bowl or disguised as a healthy snack. Always be vigilant about what you're putting into your body. Choose whole, unprocessed foods whenever possible, and always read those labels carefully. Opt for breakfasts that include fruits, vegetables, nuts, and whole grains. These natural foods provide the nutrients you need without the hidden sugars. Consider alternatives like smoothies made from fresh fruits and vegetables, or oatmeal topped with nuts and berries. These options are not only delicious, but also packed with essential nutrients. By making informed choices, you can ensure that your breakfast truly is the most important meal of the day, setting a positive tone for the rest of your day. Remember, a healthy start leads to a healthy life.